Today we are going to be completing Batman 100-piece puzzle while talking about what Jigsaw puzzle therapy is and if it's right for you. Make sure to stick around till the end for a review of the puzzle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment your questions below. Have you ever had such a long series of restless nights that your eyes begin to hurt? Have your children ever complained about not being able to concentrate on whatever they do? Do you live in a lot of stressful conditions due to your work or the environment around you? You might feel like a seemingly endless use of medicines like Adderall, Xanax, and melatonin, or taking unplanned naps instead of getting a good night's sleep are your only pillars of support in times like these. It might even get too stressful more often than not. You might begin to think that the only way to cope is to spend thousands on top therapists or pretend like you're fine. What if I told you that the puzzles that you were scolded for losing the pieces of during your childhood is one of the best ways to get your life back on track? Doing puzzles can be considered a complete brain exercise since it exercises both the right and left sides. The right is in charge of creativity, emotions, and intuitive thinking, and left is the logical, objective, and methodical side. When you do a puzzle, both sides must communicate and work together. The occipital lobe is the area where the brain connects colors and shapes, and it is also activated while solving jigsaw puzzles. Puzzles help in more than just the mental development. When a child solves a puzzle, along with their mental development, physical, emotional, and cognitive skills are also developed. Holding puzzle pieces and turning them until they fit, solving the problems they face while doing the puzzle, as well as getting a successful outcome and reward on accomplishing the task at hand, contributes a lot to personal development of a child. Solving puzzles helps in improving concentration, building imagination, and learning patience as a virtue. Our hands consist of small muscles that move in specialized ways. There is a series of fine motor development we all go through in order to manipulate puzzle pieces. Puzzles come in a variety of themes, which contribute to learning about shapes, colors, animals, letters, etc. In addition, they contribute to the development of organizing ideas and understanding how things work together, and also focus on the larger picture. Puzzles help a lot in building hand-eye coordination, gross as well as fine motor skills. The use of jigsaw puzzles can sharpen a child's visualization, concentration, as well as visual and spatial skills. It surprises me when I look back to my childhood. I remember my mom and dad flooding me with suggestions to solve various kinds of puzzles during my free time, and realized that my mature thinking and extremely presentable grades might have been because of me doing puzzles after a light cramming session on the nights before taking tests. I also remember having a childhood friend whose parents were quite reluctant on buying her puzzles, as they deem these as useless and a waste of money. Looking back, she blames her lack of problem-solving ability and intelligence for her so-called adult skills deficit, now in part from the lack of puzzles in her childhood. It's safe to say that I owe a lot of thank yous to my parents for providing me with that extra boost. Jigsaw puzzles, crossword puzzles, and word searches are common therapeutic tools for children with attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, or ADHD. The jigsaw puzzle therapy can be used to help children with sensory processing disorders to refine their visual perception and coordination. Puzzles are often used to help strengthen coordination in children with dyspraxia, which is a neurological disorder and also affects the immune and the nervous system of an individual, and is characterized by facing trouble with motor skills, memory, judgment, perception, information processing, and other cognitive abilities. Although dyspraxia is not a medical condition, it can also affect the immune and nervous systems. Jigsaw puzzles are also used with patients that are in the early and middle stages of Alzheimer's and dementia, and depending on their cognitive level, it is determined how many puzzle pieces is the most appropriate. The goal with using puzzles is to match their cognition in order to perform the activity and find success, enjoyment, and satisfaction in its participation with an increased cognitive ability. They do not necessarily have to understand what the ultimate goal of the puzzle is, but they do have to enjoy and put their minds into solving these. Puzzles may even help you fall asleep at night, says Dr. Jim Horn, a professor of psychopsychology at Loughborough University and the author of Sleeplessness. Horn advises people to try it if they're constantly stressed at night. Looking for matching pieces takes your mind off your worries, he says. It's a great distraction. It might sound pointless, but it's even more pointless to lie there at night thinking about trying to go to sleep. For adults whose ADHD gets the best of them, solving jigsaw puzzles is one of the best ways to get a dopamine reward. Having something that can be controlled with a high probability of getting a successful outcome helps cope with feeling powerless as well as lack of concentration. Using jigsaw puzzles as a way to cope with anxiety is also one of the best ways to utilize the power of jigsaw puzzles. Heavy amount of concentration put into solving these helps get our mind off things that stress us out. Putting your mind into solving jigsaw puzzles during sudden flare-ups of anxiety can help a great deal to prevent it turning into a full-blown attack. Puzzles can also help a lot with sleepless nights. Puzzles work a great deal in clearing the chaos of the day out of our brains, causing us to relax and in turn get in a sound sleep. Dr. Claudia Luez, a psychoanalyst author of the book The Making of the Psychoanalyst Studies in Emotional Education, says it's no accident that doing puzzles has such a profound effect on her patient. Doing puzzles is extremely satisfying, not only because you are solving something, but also because you can control achieving the positive outcome, she told, adding that such an outcome triggers a double dose of dopamine, the brain's favorite feel-good juice. Puzzles are also used in occupational therapy after traumatic injuries to the fingers and hands, and also after suffering brain injuries in which we must re-educate the brain and improve coordination with the arms. Solving puzzles is a great way to develop and improve skills as an adult too. Puzzles contribute into developing better problem-solving abilities. Doing puzzles is a trial and error, gets us to formulate new ways to do a certain task. Incorporation of puzzles in your workspace helps build coordination between coworkers. Development of emotional skills such as patience and tolerance is a profound way of helping yourself using jigsaw puzzle therapy. Goal setting as a skill can be developed by solving puzzles during both childhood as well as adulthood. You cannot cheat while you're working on a puzzle unless you're like my dad and think that looking at the box is cheating. There is always only one correct placement. Either the piece fits or it doesn't. Sometimes frustration might get the best of an individual while they are solving a puzzle, but the feeling of accomplishment on completing it is such a pleasure. Jigsaw puzzle therapy is the best for people who suffer during personal as well as social interactions due to problems that seem to have no visual solution. Development of social skills as well as polishing your personality are two of the major ways solving puzzles can help you. Puzzles are the most sought-out developmental tools that can be used by all people regardless of their age. They can always be challenging because there is always a higher level if the previous level becomes too easy. Jigsaw puzzles can be used as a help for stress and loneliness. Solving these can help you get through headaches as well as physical fatigue. This is because the amount of concentration needed helps to distract us from the pain. Using puzzles enhances an individual's mood, which in turn creates increased productivity. Solving jigsaw puzzles as an activity creates better social as well as physical conditions for us. Emotional and mental enhancement is one of the major advantages to giving time to jigsaw puzzle therapy. Anyone who needs a comparatively cheap and safe therapy can always turn to solving these jigsaw puzzles in order to get themselves a healthier emotional and mental lifestyle. Creation of a child's physical, mental, emotional, as well as social well-being is one of the most important uses of the jigsaw puzzles. The jigsaw puzzle therapy is a very trustworthy solution for people who struggle with attention deficit, anxiety, stress, insomnia, post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD, as well as any mental blockage that affects their social and emotional well-being. Solving a jigsaw puzzle is like a journey, which is so much more than just helping us reach the destination. It is about the creation and not the outcome. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that puzzle. It was really fun and enjoyable to do. It took about 16 minutes. So you guys did see it on a time lapse. The puzzle itself was very unique in both the design and the shape of the puzzle pieces. The shape really allowed me to match one piece to the next, so that part of the puzzle went by very easy. The difficulty came into play with the design of the puzzle. Well, it looks super cool. It doesn't look as that difficult. It was more difficult than I was expecting, and it's not difficult, just more difficult than expected. The quality of the pieces were way better than expected. They weren't bending. The design isn't going to peel off, with one or two uses. So, good quality. They will bend and break a little bit faster than like a Ravensburg, but still great quality, especially for a dollar store puzzle. So, if you are looking for a Batman puzzle, if you're looking for a cheap puzzle, that's definitely one to do. You can buy it at any dollar store, I believe. So please like and subscribe to this video and have a great day.